Hello and welcome to the course of Machine Learning Zero to Hero. This is Ikhwan Iqbal, and I'd like to say that I'm super excited to have you inside this class. In this course, you will learn about basic machine learning and how to implement in Python. I'm so excited to have you on board about learning machine learning and applying what you learn in your day-to-day life. Today I'm going to show you 9 examples of how machine learning is used in the real world. So you can get super excited that you are learning these things at the moment in this class. Okay, so yeah, it's a huge challenge. I'm going to throw all of these examples at you very quickly to get you very excited. So let's get started. Alright, machine learning application number 1, Facebook facial recognition. Everybody knows this. When you upload a photo, Facebook somehow knows already who your friends are and tags them automatically. Well, that's machine learning algorithm in action. There's a device, or still you can still buy. It's called KinectSport. It really lives off, but that's like a marketing thing, but it's really cool device. It looks at your action, and you don't have to have a joystick, and you can play games on your Xbox. And actually, it uses a machine learning algorithm called random forest, which we'll discuss in great detail inside this class. Then there's the virtual reality headset, where you turn your head and the picture moves, and how does the machine how does headset know what to portray? Well, that's a machine learning algorithm monitoring your actions and connecting them to the game or whatever you're looking at. Then on your phone, so you have an iPhone, you'll see this little button where you can do text to speech, to text or voice recognition, and when you click that button, it recognizes that you are saying, well, that is a machine learning algorithm in action again. Then we've got robot dogs, and they learn how to walk, and it's very interesting how they teach them how to walk. They don't just put an algorithm in them most of the time. They actually use a good algorithm or machine learning method called reinforcement learning, so that dogs learn how to walk on their own. Very interesting. And one other thing that I will discuss inside this course. Alright, so Facebook ads, they know you better than you know yourself. Amazon, Netflix, Audible all use machine learning for their recommender systems. Machine learning is used in medicine. I personally know a data scientist who uses machine learning to save lives of people on a daily basis. Machine learning is used in space to recognize certain areas of the world through maps, and machine learning also used to explore new territories such as Mars. Right, so that's just 9 examples of machine learning and how it's used in the real life. Okay, then we move on to the next page. Right, data is everywhere, and we live exactly in the 21st century. And wherever you go, there's data. And in fact, there's even a term for it, data exhaust. So as you go by of your day, you're constantly living in this data exhaust. Whether it's true, your text messages that you're sending, or you're going on Facebook, or just simply walking through the city. And different antennas are picking you up your living GPS data. So you're constantly living this data exhaust, whether you are aware of it or not. And probably the only way to not live the data exhaust is to go live in the forest for a couple days. So that's the reality we live in, and this data is just growing exponentially. It's accumulating all the time. And let's see how this has been happening throughout the history of the human race. So here we go. Since the dawn of time up until 2005, humans had created 130 exabytes of data. So you're probably sitting there thinking, Iwan, that sounds really cool, but it's very hard to imagine what the heck an exabyte is, and that means nothing to me. Okay, yeah, fair enough. So let's go and drill into this to understand what this actually represents. So here have got a letter A, right? So letter as a single letter letter in a computer takes up 1 byte of data. Now if we zoom out 1,000 times, we have 1,000 letters, and 1,000 letters represents about a page on small book, and that fits into 1 kilobyte. Now if we zoom out another 1,000 times, we have 1,000 kilobytes, which is a megabyte, and that is about a book with 500 pages double-sided. Now if we zoom out another 1,000 times, we get a gigabyte, and believe it or not, you can fit the human genome onto 1 gigabyte. So it actually takes about 725 megabytes of spaces, and you can encode. If you think about it, you encode a whole human being on a 1 gigabyte, but you'll probably say that a human is not just his genome, it's just his DNA, also the life experiences that he has. All the things that he does in his life, you can put that onto the gigabyte. Well, how about zoom out to another 1,000 times and we get 1 terabyte. And now if you take an HD camera and you walk around a person for his whole life, so for about 80 years, every minute, every second of their life, and you film everything they do, and you put all of that in HD video, that will fit into 1 terabyte. So that's already getting impressive right now. Let's zoom out another 1,000 times, and this is one of my favorite representations. So here's we've got the Amazon rainforest. It has about 1.4 billion acres of trees. Every acre has about 500 trees in it. So that makes it about 700 billion trees in the Amazon rainforest. So if you take all of these trees, and hypothetically, I'm not saying this should be done, but hypothetically, if you take all these trees and you were to chop them down, put them into paper, and every single page of the paper with letters, with text, then you will get about 1 to 2 terabytes of data. So that should give you an idea of how huge a terabyte is. Now, if you zoom out another 1,000 times, that's where you get an exabyte. An exabyte is 1,000 terabytes. Yeah, so now this should be a bit more impressive, that since 2000s, since the dawn of time up until 2005, humans have created 130 exabytes of data, and includes everything. Includes all the books written, all the songs that we're saying, all the words that were spoken. Everything that humans have created was about 130 exabytes of data. Now, in 2010, that number was already 1,200 exabytes. So you can see that in the following 5 years, humans create so much more data. Then in the next 5 years, in 2015, these numbers became 7,900 exabytes. Then in 2020, this number is estimated to be 40,900 exabytes of data. As you can imagine, these numbers are astonishing. But what's even more astonishing is the exponential growth of the data that we're seeing. And if you visualize it, it looks something like this. This is the reality that we live in, the world that we live in. How quickly data is growing every single year. So this is an actual study that was done by DC and sponsored by EMC. So this is all research. Now what is not research is these lines that I'm going to draw now, but this is my impressions of what's going on in the world. So yeah, this is where I think we are as a data scientist, our capacity to process as data scientists to the data that's in the world. And then if you draw the machines, this is the line that represents how much of the data machines are actually using that exists in the real world. And so where does machine learning come into play? Well, machine learning is the potential that presents a potential to use this data that is not being used, only equipped with machine learning algorithms. Can you step up to that challenge and make sense and add value from the data that is growing so quickly, in fact, exponentially. And that is why machine learning is actually a degree is being taught at universities. Right, so yeah, this is the end of the introduction today. Yeah, thank you very much. So I really hope you are going to enjoy this course, and I can't wait to see you throughout the next courses. I'm sure by now you're pretty excited about what's to come. And you totally should be, because, what I'll be presenting in this course is the cutting edge of the data science and machine learning. Alright, so cannot wait to see you in the next tutorial. Enjoy machine learning and have a good day. See you.